All this posters over here to talk about.
A man who was born the same year as London Transport, so you'll know instantly he dates from 1933. I don't think he's here tonight, but my number 10 is a very good old friend of mine, Bruce Jenkins, who lives in Faversham. He worked in London Transport's Public Relations Office for very many years. You may have seen his name in print as B.A. Jenkins below photographs. He took a lot of bus photographs, not all London, provinces as well, over very many years. So Bruce Jenkins is my number 10. Number 10 is another old friend of mine, John Reed. That's spelled R-E-E-D. He too was a colleague of mine in the old London Transport Public Relations Office some years ago. John Reed has written some books on buses, one or two of which he co-authored with the late John Day, who used to work in London Transport's press office. That's number 9. Number 8, a name known to some people here, Glyn Davis, a Welshman of course. Glyn is reputed to own several terraces of houses in the Welsh valleys, so he's a good chap to get to know. Glyn Davis, he is a bus expert, mainly on London. He worked in London buses, and before that, like me, he worked in public relations. Number 7, Nigel Clark. If you ever want to meet Essex man, that is Nigel Clark, who hails from deepest Essex, a true transport enthusiast. When I was driving my 176 for those many years, especially in the last few weeks, he was always popping up on street corners, taking photographs of whichever VLR I happened to be driving. I think he was more interested in the bus than in me, but I saw a lot of Nigel Clark in the last few weeks of the 176 working with Arriva. This is where I start using my crib sheet. Alan Young, if I pronounce it right, with an E on the end. Alan Young, he works for Arriva, as I did for many years, but he still works for Arriva, but he's moved around, including a short period at Stagecoach Devon. And it says here rather mysteriously that Alan is a photographer. Is Alan here tonight?
He's just here, opposite John.
Right here. Oh, hello, Alan. Good job I said nothing rude, or I might have been kicked under the table. Pleased to meet you, Alan. Couldn't be much nearer to me, could you? And my number 5 is Paul Wheel, a retired schedule compiler, bus driver, and it says on my crib sheet, active walker. Well, I suppose there are some inactive walkers around, but he's an active walker. Where's Paul Wheel? Has he walked in here? Hello, Paul. Pleased to meet you. Congratulations. You're my number 5. Number 4, Mike Wadman, who's primarily a bus enthusiast, and it says here, very knowledgeable about buses and bus services in the west of England. He's also a photographer and an expert on IT, which is my elder son's speciality. So Mike Wadman, is Mike here this evening? Hello Mike, pleased to meet you, thank you. Well, I'm glad I can be heard right down the end of the table, that's fantastic. Didn't know my voice was that good. Number 3, somebody I've never heard of Mike Harris. Is Mike Harris here? No, he's not here. I can be rude about him. Now, I know Mike Harris well enough. I've known him for years. I knew him from the old publicity office at London Transport. I know him for his bus maps, and his name came up in conversation with another friend of mine, David Bowker, chairman of the Norbury and South London Transport Society. If anybody's ever been invited to give us a talk to the Norbury and South London Transport Society, you've certainly arrived, and you get a free Mars bar and a cup of tea if you ask nicely in the interval. I can tell you that from experience. Mike Harris is what we're meant to be talking about, friend of David Bowker, and David told me, and I made a note at the time, David told me that Mike Harris has got thousands of E-plates, as Mike apparently isn't here. I hope nobody's got the tape recorder going. Thousands of E-plates.
And you should say that.
I wonder where he got all those E-plates from. Right, that's Mike Harris. Number 2, we're getting there. Number 2, Roger Green. Is Roger here, please? Hello, Roger Green. Pleased to meet you. Reading my crib sheet again, Roger. It says here that you're primarily a railway enthusiast, so I think you've taken the wrong turning tonight. It says here you've led Railway Ramblers walks, and again you're active. I'm glad to meet some active people here tonight. It says you are an active, and it says in capital letters, evening walker. Sounds very mysterious. A creature of the night, does that mean? What does it mean, evening walker?
You better ask Mr. Salt about the evening.
Oh, okay, I'll do that. Speak to Guy Salt, right. It says you enjoy preserved railways and bus running days. Well, that's fairly innocuous, isn't it? We'll allow that. Oh, okay, Roger. Well, you very nearly made it. You're number 2. Better luck next time. Now, gentlemen, the crowning highlight and glory of the evening. Your number 1 for 2018 to 2019 is Mr. Thomas Drake. Hooray! Mr. Thomas Drake works for London Journal on rail replacement services, and it's very knowledgeable on heritage vehicles. And it says here he likes riding buses. Well, that's just as well, isn't it? I suppose, Mr. Drake, Thomas, you're right at the very end of the table. My arm's not long enough to
Tell him to come
stretch.
up here.
You come up here, mate, and we'll give you we'll make it worth your while. We've got a very nice tankard for you.
Have you got number 2?
I'll deal with that. Yeah, okay. I'll give these to you. Now you're a very lucky man, Thomas, because not only do you get this splendid tankard, and I'll shake you. I'll give you a handshake with the head with the tankard.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The tankard, if you can remember to bring it back next year, if you'd be so kind, and pass it on to your number 1, who you'll be invited to choose next year.
Keep an eye out for it on eBay.
Don't melt it down. And I don't know what it is, but you also get that, which I'm told you may keep. That is a personal gift from Steve.
Thank you very much.
Number 2 and number 3.
Similarly. It's not valuable, don't worry.
Right, Thomas, the floor is yours.
Well, as you can see, I was completely unexpected this, so I haven't got anything prepared. It's been. I don't know what to say really, but thank you for voting for me. But
You'll get your own back next year.
yes, I'm going to have to think long and hard now for next year's one. Yes, because I've got to pick the 10 now, haven't I, next year? So, thank you all again, and and thank you, Steve, as well for the gift as well.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
On the other hand, when I got the tram, I was going to throw it away because there are no bins on the tram, so I held on to it. It must be its coin. It fell into the, literally fell into the car.
John.
I'll let you off with that.
Sorry, I'm going to miss John's
That's video actually. So.
There's all sorts of bands and stuff around.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a great fitting, really.
I've got enough people to come to.